people, and it's gone on far too long.
I'd like you to close your eyes for a second and imagine this. A group of kids playing soccer in their neighborhood street. Another making mud cakes on the corner. You hear innocent laughter. In the distance, a conversation among parents about the latest kidnapping. Fast forward, silence engulfs the streets. You look around, you see windows shut, doors closed. Every now and then, you catch a glimpse of a pair of eyes peeking through a window. You hear the sound of an engine getting closer and closer. It's the Mexican military, weapons drawn. Your mother packs a couple of bags with nothing more than some clothes. She takes you and your 3-year-old sister to visit nearby relatives. Your 7-year-old self says, "Love you, see you soon." At a bus stop, you give them one more hug, you board. Out of the window, they see your tiny hand wave and your innocent little smile fade in the distance. My name is Fernando Soto, and that was my reality. See, my family was displaced due to the failed war on drugs. We lived on the border city of Ciudad Juarez, which at one point became the most violent city in the world. My young parents brought my sister and I to Charleston, thinking that our nightmare was far away, thinking it was over. And while the violent and gruesome reality of that city is far from us, our nightmares are far from over. My parents would get up very early to go to work. We went to school and carried our supplies in plastic Walmart bags. Growing up, I resented my parents for not spending enough time with us. I envied my classmates whose parents would take them to baseball games, to Disney, or simply to the park. We were used to my mother taking us everywhere with her. But now, we were in America, and things were different. As an adult, I now understand that it was in fact the unconditional love our parents have for us that they risked and sacrificed it all. My parents worked tirelessly, 2 jobs and then some to make ends meet, to make sure that we had the essentials. My father worked a landscaping job, making $9 and some change. My mother had several jobs, from housekeeper to dishwasher. I was angered as a teen, knowing that their Caucasian counterparts were paid more. At one job, I recall my mother coming home upset. Her new coworker had left her pay stub on a table. My mother worked for about $8.50 an hour. They did the same job, but her coworker was earning over $12 an hour. My mother felt like she couldn't do anything about it, except work a second job to make ends meet. And I said to myself that I was going to break those chains. My first job fresh out of college, I was in the field of SETI. My boss praised me constantly. I was glad to have a job. And he would often tell me behind closed doors how he wished he could pay me more than my $9.60 an hour. I got promoted from part-time to full-time and then promoted again. The second promotion, he actually said to me that it paid 5 cents less starting off, but that he would leave my wage at what it was. What a deal, no? One day after a conversation with a coworker, I found out I was being significantly underpaid. It was then I recalled my mother's face. I was angered. My boss knew how much that job meant to me. It was my passion. I was open about my immigration status and about being gay. But after all, I was in Alabama. I am here thanks to the hard work of my parents. To us, the working class, money isn't everything. We know how to survive, but we can't settle for that. In addition to surviving, we need to have a shot at loving our kids. We need to have a shot at spending time with our family, because love alone isn't going to enough to cleanse us of our traumas. We must unite as one in all of our struggles to demand a livable wage of at least $15 an hour that continues to rise as inflation rises. We must push for a new era where anyone who is LGBTQ can pursue their dream of becoming the next Neil Armstrong or the President of the United States. We must organize and mobilize to demand that our brown kids be freed from cold cages in which they're kept in, to demand that our black kids can play at the park or the street without being murdered because someone felt threatened. We must turn experiences into fuel to demand change. I'm not asking you to not be angry. I'm not asking you to conform, but I am asking you to not give up. We are here because of U.S. destabilizing Latin America. But this was once our land to begin with.
That's right.
We aren't back to steal jobs and commit crimes. We are back to have an opportunity at survival. My black brothers and sisters aren't here because they thought this was a colorful tourist destination. They are here because they were stolen and forced into slavery. We aren't here because of us. We are here because of the United States militarism and endless war that targets black and brown communities abroad as well as home. This is a tourist destination because of our suffering. We deserve the same treatment and rights as our Caucasian counterparts, and that is why I am committed to building this Poor People's Campaign and mobilizing my community to DC in June for the Poor People's March in Washington, and I hope that you can join us.
Yeah. Somebody is hurting our brothers and our sisters, and it's gone on far too long, and we won't be silent anymore.
Somebody's hurting our people, and it's gone on far too long, and we won't be silent anymore.